Welcome to Talking Wine. I'm Roland, and we've got David Clarke here.
Hello.
Welcome. So you've been here for some time, but you've worked your way into quite a pivotal role in South African wine.
That's nice of you to say.
Yes, yeah. So basically, you've taken some of these young gun, new wave, cool hipster producers, and you've brought them into the limelight.
Some not so young as well.
Yeah, some are a little bit older, but cool wines that you can bring onto the market and get people to drink, which is, I think, super awesome, because before you arrived, it was the big distributors that frankly were delivering more mainstream branded wines, whereas these wines rely on something else.
Yeah. ExAnimo, to get to the heart of that, ExAnimo means from the heart in Latin. So we think that's very crucial in making great wine. Not only skill and the right size, but you have to live it and breathe it.
Okay.
So you can't sort of do it by numbers, and you can't sort of do it only by science. Science is obviously very important to make sure the beverage is stable and delicious and all that sort of stuff. But there is that artistry that we really, really love, and why I think a lot of people love wine and they really engage with it is that sort of that factor that you can't really quantify it.
All right, let's talk about the Geronimo 2019, the vintage 2019. What's your initial thoughts on it?
I mean, my opinion is it sort of lies stylistically between 2015 and 2017 locally.
So the precision of 17, maybe with a little more grunt of the 15s, or?
Yeah, more the fruit quality of the 15s in terms of they were very vinous wines. They were looking very sort of, not mature as in age, but mature as in like they were looking very winey rather than primary. And the 17s really precise and very sort of razor sharp, sort of laser beam, sort of like really intense and interesting wines. So a mixture of that. So it has got the shape of the 17s with the flavours of the 15s.
Okay.
To put it simply.
All right, let's talk about the Geronimo.
Yes.
This has been one of Lucas's real phenomenon wines. There are not very many producers that hang their hat on Sanso, but Lucas does.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He grew up in Rawsonville, which is in the Bricktom, which is sort of a very unfashionable wine area, grape growing area principally. So a lot of bulk production there. So therefore a lot of Cinsault as a heavy bearer. And he remembers, growing up amongst those vines and eating a lot of the Cinsault berries. So I think it is a style and a variety that's near and dear to his heart. He's a very sort of emotional person.
Yes. So this wine for me is all about clarity. It's about finesse. Some of the Sansauts can be a little bit tutti frutti, but this wine seems to have something underneath. There's a layer to it that's
it seems to be a bit more serious.
It's definitely one of the best Sansauts out there, and it's this beautiful fragrance that you get on the wine. It really is astonishing, and there's some beautiful texture and development. What will be this wine like be in 20 years' time?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I mean, the first vintage was 2016. This is the 2019. So this is the fourth vintage.
Yeah.
We don't know. Is the short answer.
Yeah. It's made with integrity. It's got clarity of fruit. It's got a fresh acidity. It's gonna last, but it's super crunchy. You're drinking it fast.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Bricktom. But super wine. I think they're a step up on the 18s. These 19s so far that we've tasted for sure. So we're tasting the Bricktom 2019,
Yes.
and what is that character that you get on the nose? That is leafy, dusty, but in a good way. How would you describe it?
Yeah, it's a combination of sort of like tobacco leaf, tomato leaf, a little bit of cigar box,
Yes.
that kind of vibe. Rubbed pencil, like the graphite of a pencil shaving. There is definite fruit there though. There is that sort of like classic Cabernet family black currant and cassis, but not in a sort of jammy style. It's sort of like almost just slightly underripe fruit. So it has that sort of like energy and crunchiness into it. Yeah.
Some people would think green bad or faulty, but this is green, but it's good. Well, now we're moving on to the last of the reds, the Graaf Syrah 2019. Quite cool in that we yesterday had the Sons of Sugarland. It was basically the same vineyard, just made in a different way.
So this is the.
He's very good at that, by the way. He's very good at.
This vineyard is Joshua Hubert, so Caribib farm on the top of the Polka Dry.
But this wine sees some older oak, whereas the Sons of Sugarland is in concrete. same grapes but made in a different way. It's much quieter on the nose compared to the concrete Sons of Sugarland.
Yeah, I've not had the 19 Sons of Sugarland, so I'll be very interested to try.
There's a fineness to this wine. It's much quieter than the Sons of Sugarland. It's a little bit more tempered, let's call it.
Okay.
And maybe that's just because it's been in some French oak.
It's a proper serious wine. Yeah.
So really it's about...
So I'm happy to smash that one in my face, happy to smash that one in my face. I want to sip this one and enjoy every milliliter.
Milliliter, yeah. Right. And it's all about precision again in this wine. It's actually a little bit lighter than the Sons of Sugarland, I think. It's slightly more perfumed, a little bit more maybe elegant. Lucas's wines tend to have this elegance to them. It's pretty incredible. We're now on to the whites and 2 Shannons that Lucas produces. We're up with Trust Your Gut.
Yes.
What's the difference between these 2 Shannons?
Trust Your Gut, in essence, a blend and single vineyard.
Okay. Wow.
Blend of vineyards and regions. So it's WO Western Cape.
And then Paarl.
And then this is a single vineyard in Paarl, in the Paarl WO.
So these are a few vineyards from around Stellenbosch, Paarl.
No, it's Stellenbosch and Swartland.
Swartland, okay.
Yeah.
It's very pure, eh? Very pure Shannon, and it's got this attractive crystalline acidity, but with the ripe pineapple, citrus, and real Shannon-y character.
It's when someone says, "Well, what's happening in South African Shannon?" This is one of the wines I point.
You say, "Trust your gut and drink this."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I mean, the camaraderie gets more plaudits for its intensity and weight and power, but I think the Trust Your Gut, for me, personally, for actual drinking, is just a better wine to drink.
Okay.
Camaraderie may get more points, but for me, the Trust Your Gut is a better drinker. So I would give the Trust Your Gut more points than the Camaraderie, but I am in the minority there.
Yes. Well, look, points. I mean, you guys like points. You buy in points. We're trying to get away from points because, frankly, when you get to 100. Then points are done, and what's better than 100?
I think points are good. The people giving the points are the issue.
But I thought you were friends with Christian.
Yeah.
Freeze.
No.
Okay, so really
No, I'm not saying everyone who gives points is a I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that they give points for their palate, not for yours.
Yes. Okay, let's try the Camaraderie. You chug that back.
No, you try. I'm going to drink this Trust Your Gut. This is delicious.
Okay. Well, I'll try the Camaraderie. So this is single vineyard from Paarl.
Yes.
And it's pretty old. It's 1960 planted.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the seal, but that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, the old vine seal, yeah.
I think you have to pay a bit of money to be part of that whole gig, which is fair enough. I mean, it's a great thing that they've started. But planted in 1960, old vine Shannon from Paarl. And what are we getting? A little bit more depth, a bit more ripeness, a bit more richness?
There's certainly much more width on this wine.
Width?
Width.
I've never heard that in wine. Width.
Yeah, so when you put the wine in your mouth, it's either long and straight.
I thought that was breadth.
Breadth? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's the same thing.
You're pointing on something pretty important here in wine. And when I first got into wine, one of the first things that I started understanding is that wine you need to visualize on your palate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Wow, this is a powerful wine.
It's intense.
Jeepers.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's.
I think we talk about concentration a lot in our wine tasting notes, but what is concentration? It's more flavor per wine. I mean, that's really what it is, isn't it?
It's more flavor per mil.
Well, that's
per amount of wine. Yeah.
And this one is crazy intense at 13% alcohol. It's just got so much richness and viscosity.
I prefer the Trust Your Gut
because
I drink a lot of wine.
Yes.
So I want something that's refreshing and.
And you trust your gut.
Well, my gut trusts me. Well, it has no choice. I'd like to make a distinction between intensity and concentration. Thank you.
This is key, folks. Let's just dial in on this.
Yeah. Concentration generally is an intense amount of flavour.
Okay.
Whereas intensity is more holistic. So you take into account the tannin, the acid, the holistic part of the wine.
Okay.
So you can have a very concentrated wine with low intensity.
Did you get that? Cool. Well, Lucas, thanks for making these tremendous 19s, and we really look forward to selling them, to drinking them, to getting to know them a little bit better. We've had a good snapshot now, and it's been super. Thanks for bringing them, David.
No, cheers, man.
Yeah,
No, I'm
cheers.
glad you enjoyed it. Cheers, man. Thank you.